welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I'm excited to do this again today. There's so many thoughts that are in my head, in my heart, but faith and love is what's bringing me here again today. Thoughts of some of you, some of the names I see in the chat, some of the people I've connected with. Praise God. Sincerely, this life we're living, it's a trip. So today on the Friday energies, I'm actually just real chilled today. And I got my notepad, but I didn't make a lot of thoughts. The concept today, the topic, truth or deceptions. Golly geez, that's a broad topic, isn't it? But I'm feeling chill and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens today. A stack of my old notes just tumbled off the counter. Organization, that's something my life could sure use some more attention to. I don't know about you, but organization was never a strong suit. Well, in some ways. See, brothers and sisters, settle in as we're here together. Because when we can join with one another in this time of life, yeah, there's hectic schedules, lots of demands and stuff going on. But if we can just chill out for a little bit, rest in God's love together, talk about some ideas. What is not true. What is not relevant. It's all up to you. Brothers and sisters, these words, you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You temporarily have a body. And temporary, well, everything is based on perspective, right? Everything is relative. But the soul is infinite. The body allows the soul to experience this temporary paradox of time and change. Time and change happening within the changeless, the infinite. Life is limited by unlimited possibilities of what is unknown. What is unknown is actually what prevents us all from achieving, because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And there's unlimited possibilities of what is unknown. Humbling ourselves to that feels good. Aligning the experience with that which can be known will allow the infinite reach of the soul to expand beyond time, beyond effort. This is the realm of the miraculous, the mystic aspect of life, mystical aspect of life, the spiritual reality that is. Praise God. Holy cows. Where to begin? You know what? Today, like I said, I'm curious to see where the universe brings. My energies of today was more, deeper, surrender. Surrender and accept the life I've been given. Surrender and accept the results. I mean, results of our life, how things are going, how much progress we make on our goals. Those are real. They're real indicators of the direction we're going. But the thought I was considering before clicking the live stream, and it wasn't really for conversation, but it is my progression too. And we all go through this. How do you know? How do you know when to stay the course, faith in the desired outcomes, and when do you know when to stop, when to change directions, when to quit? How do you know? I've I've been trying to figure this out for myself. I'm persistent in many of uh my ventures, I guess, my adventures. I'm very persistent towards what I believe are achievable and beneficial goals in my life. But holy cows, man. This life of being a human, it can be amazing. It is amazing. The life of being a human being, the opportunities. I think that's what confuses a lot of people. I think that's what used to confuse me, is the realization that there's an infinite world out there to discover. So where do you go? Where do you start? And then early in my life, I was taught you can't trust people. People are liars. So then I'd spend so much time trying to investigate. Should I even read this book? Should I even bother with this author? That may not make a lot of sense to you. Sorry for that. This life I've been living, as you've been living your life and I've been living my life, my perspective, the way I see myself and the world has drastically changed. I no longer walk around with depression and misery and hopelessness. And the funny thing is, I used to walk around feeling like a failure when I really wasn't trying to achieve any goals. I wasn't failing, but I sure as hell was not a success, not as my heart wanted me to be. And so, brothers and sisters, the past several years of me, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to learn and come across a lot of amazing, inspiring, very intelligent, intellectual human beings. God has blessed me through the technology that we share. One of the thoughts I was considering, there's been a lot of confusion around me and publicly, privately, there's been a lot of confusion around me in my life about what I'm saying, what I'm doing. There's a lot of people I've met who are convinced that I'm not offering anything new. They've heard it all before. And it's true. See, knowledge and wisdom, the true answers, they're eternally available. It's just up to each of us to discover what is true, what is real about this crazy life we're living in. In reflection of my past and thinking about what I'd shared today, how do you know where you are? Wait, back to that question. How do you know when to, change directions for yourself in life, whether it's, relationships or employment or where you live or what you're doing? How do you know? How do you know when to change directions if you don't know where you are, if you don't know where you've been? See, and if we're going to jump out of the individual into the collective, like the worldwide human people, the masses, we don't understand history. The majority don't understand where we've been in the past. In there, many people who suffer from habits of addiction and mind altering behaviors, many people can't explain their own past. They've got periods where I don't know, man, it was just dark and crazy. Somehow I made it through. If we don't know where we've been, we don't know where we are. If we don't know where we are, you're lost. And yet, wherever you go, you will always be. So, be at peace. Rest in God's love. The world we live in, the human experience, there are far more mysteries in this life than you might realize. I'm speaking from myself. I realized after I started discovering things I didn't know, I realized this world we live in is filled with mysteries. Now, many of the mysteries come from, like, who knows, interdimensional, perhaps angelic, perhaps demonic. There's all sorts of mysteries in this world. Now, one of the obvious issues in the world today, in the greater scheme of, I can't remember the right word, but the global political economics, one of the great problems there is the secrets. I say this often, and for whatever reason, I've been asked to explain it, but the world we live in, things are and are not as they seem. It's a paradox. Every one of the paradoxes that each of us may experience, it's up to each of us to find resolve, reconciliation. What is true? What is true is right now, and it's eternally now. And the body we have, it is a vessel for the spirit to discover life. And there is a spirit, there's a spirit of life that is with us all. There's the Holy Spirit, and then that Holy Spirit can be overshadowed by negative spirits and, spirits of revenge and lust and blah, 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 selfishness. Selfishness in us corrupts us. I mean, it's simple, it's obvious. When we're not honest and authentic, the pride and the arrogance will take over the human mind. And unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, it's a paradox. It's both good and bad. Society has evolved, developed into what it is today. The mind control is real. All right. So if you don't control your mind, you will be controlled by unseen spirits, by your emotions, and you'll be controlled by other people. You'll be controlled by opinions. See, and this world is filled with people. Oh, they're so generous with their opinions. They love telling people what to do. Oh, finding someone who has a problem and telling them what to do. Oh my God, there's nothing better. The human mind is so funny. It's so amazing. There's a God of creation who's with us all. It's mysterious. It's powerful. It's where my mind has gone for a long time, and I invite you, humble you, try it out for yourself. See how it feels. It feels a little weird with the idea, but see if you can figure out what it means to you to give your mind to God, so that your body is not a pleasure vessel and a workhorse. It's not just a meat suit for you to resent and complain about. Give your body over to the perfection of God. Give your mind to God. Give your heart to God. Be willing to serve whatever opportunities that God allows you to discover. These words, if it makes sense to you, this is what I've been practicing for myself. Surrender is scary. But then I started thinking about this in line with the topic today: truth or deceptions. So what if, take any general topic, or take it as a whole, as a complete question, but ask yourself, what if everything I knew was a lie? What if everything I was told, everything I was taught, what if it was all a lie, even from the people who I loved? What if they lied to me too? What if everything you know, even the stuff you don't want to know, what if that's all true? Right? What if those rumors were true and the news is true? And what if all of that was true? What then? So it's two big questions, two opposite polarities. What if everything is a lie? What if everything is true? What's the difference? What does anything mean to you? This is what I've been playing around with in myself, is mental experiments, mental experimentation, right? Expand the mind, distract my mind from my worries, distract my mind from the battles and all of the accusations and all of the problems. I distract my mind by wondering about wondering. Where could the wondering come from if not by God, the God of wonder, in which we are aspects of, in the image of? When we humble ourselves, there is a true conscience within us. It'll speak to us in our emotions. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Hey, and Rusty, thank you. In hindsight, I've seen you've asked some great questions, and I don't mean to ignore you. I don't mean to ignore anyone. This question: how do we know the people closest to us aren't lying to us? Should we test them? That's an interesting question. My personal opinion on that would be God tests. Now, does that mean I don't test people, or does that mean I do test people? God tests fairly. I'm wondering, okay, it's been a long time since I've had relationships, and I've learned and grown a lot from them. The number one key is communication. So if we can avoid a test, um, we can ask, right? And through honest communication, you can get a good feeling. If someone's really able to answer questions about what they're doing, then you can pretty well trust it. Now, denial, you can watch for symptoms. If you try communicating, and a liar they'll create distractions, deflections, they'll flip it around and what about you, and you can see that's the reactive tendency. People, the minds are very creative. In that question about testing, though, admittedly, in my past, this is actually how I've been living my life too. As a good shop steward at work, if I knew there was a problem in the workplace, a supervisor had, I'm getting a lot of rumors, this guy's doing something. Well, actually, the postal inspectors would do that to us too. They'd set baits and traps for the employees to see if they were untrustworthy. I would watch and I would create opportunities for evidence of their misconduct to arise. So, in some way, I guess I did test people, but that was before, I don't know. This is what I've been doing in my life too. Because of the many accusations and the changes I've been facing in my life, I made sure to gather evidence, evidence of my innocence against the claims, evidence of my efforts to try and find resolve, to try and succeed. So, what I've been learning, brothers and sisters, there's a God, a mysterious God, a God of wonder that brings forth the answers, the light, perfection of all of nature and life in itself. There's a God that's there. All of the opportunities and all the results that we experience in life, opportunities and results, they come from God. Okay, now do we play a part in that? You better believe we do. We play a critical part in the opportunities and results of what God reveals here in the world. It's a mysterious paradox, but the game the game is upon us, brothers and sisters. The game of life, it's here, it's now. It's been playing whether we realize the game was happening or not. So far, mankind and its divisions and languages and colors and sexes and all of this stuff, the variety of mankind, instead of being celebrated and learned from the different varieties, we've been at war, man. At war. Mankind's been at war with itself. Why? Well, this is where the amazing gift of the Bible comes in. There's a lot of wisdom that explains the psychology of mankind. We all suffer due to a lack of wisdom. Ignorance keeps us doing stupid things to ourselves, stupid things to each other. Ignorance is what causes a man or a woman to step out on their spouse. Ignorance. They think they outsmart one another, right? It's or they think they're getting revenge. They're vicious. Brothers and sisters, there's reasons why there's religions. Okay, there's value to be found in what others have learned, but the traditions, the dogmas, the separation, this holier than thou bullshit, excuse my language, but people piss me off. Praise God. See, life is a paradox. Life is a paradox. The best way to win, in my experience, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be totally lying to myself and living a delusion where my time has been wasted. But I'm here and now. And what I found is helpful for myself is to surrender my battles, surrender my worries, surrender my complaints, surrender my weaknesses, my insecurities, surrender those. Selfish people hold on to all sorts of stupid things. And I realized in hindsight, I used to be selfish about my problems, man. I didn't want them to go away. What would I complain about? My problems identified me, man. Oh, I was so strong for dealing with all those problems I created in my life. God, people, man. When I make fun of people, I'm making fun of me because I am, I am, I am you. You are me. We are. Hey, brothers and sisters, I'm feeling truly at peace. And for those who may wish to join, you are welcome to do so. Um, Testing the people we love, not in an over the top way, to make sure they'll be there when you really need them, can give peace of mind, especially if you've been let down before. That's an interesting. I won't say there's anything wrong with what you're saying. Absolutely. We're all living these lives where all of us individually, we all have the opportunity. It's responsible for us to realize, what is my boundary? What am I going to accept? What am I not going to accept? What I offer for this, no, not to single that out, but inspired from that. um, to find true peace in your inner state of being, watch for where you're selfish. Okay. And if you feel you could be hurt by someone who you love, ask yourself, what would be hurt, right? What is the risk? What is the risk of me offering trust? Because if I claim to love, well, love includes trust. Love includes loyalty. It includes a lot of things that people in this world kind of overlook. Hey, blessings. I glance at what some of the other people are doing to see what I might expect or not expect, who's available to tune in when I go live. I saw he was starting not long before I did. Um, Welcome to the OTWs. For those who may learn of, please feel free to find and join the team, join the adventure. I was considering presenting this idea to to some of you who have been here with me. Loyalty, right? You guys have taken criticism and insults. You've been belittled as well, just because of your support of me. So consider this. We are we are what is happening here. There is something growing here. There's a light. There's a light of hope. There's a light of success, achievement. There is a light here that is with us. That's the light I found. What if? What if we become? Imagine yourself. That's what it was. That was the thought I wanted to offer. I invite you to imagine yourself looking back at your part in being part of this movement, this new movement. It's not a new movement, it's a gathering of movement, it's bringing of movements together. But imagine yourself as part of this time in history, being a big part of the movement that comes out, bringing transformation into the world. True change, true reforms, not in a form of revolution, but a form of evolution where we collectively will invite in all the right people to key positions. It's simple organization stuff that, hey, praise God. There I go, proving myself wrong again. See, in the file and all the paperwork nonsense this world places on us, I wasn't as good as I could be about the paperwork part of organization. But brothers and sisters, bringing ideas together, bringing talents together, and bringing ideas together for a greater job, that's where I organize. That's where my mind works. Praise God. So imagine, since you're here with me, imagine that we are that body that God brought forth at this time to intervene in the political theatrics, to actually bring some sense into the administration of the world. This is where my mind is at. It's my prayer that this may become true, because peace on earth, it's the only logical option. These wars are unacceptable. And yeah, it might be tough. It might require some conversations, and you might have to change a few minds, but hey, you know what? I think it's worth it. I think humanity is worth an intervention. How about that? How do you know when to offer an intervention? How do you know when to stand back and watch someone self-destruct? I've actually recently, on social media, some people I truly care about who are doing amazing work on the streets, right? Helping people find recovery and shelter. Apparently, there's been a lot of relapses, a lot of people stepping back and going back into the darkness of addiction and self-deletion, you know? There's a lot of people losing hope. And so I felt, right? I felt the helplessness of some of these care workers. They're watching people they've seen, slip again. And the comment I keep seeing is there's nothing that can be done. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Brothers and sisters, we're here to help each other. Sometimes I believe an intervention is appropriate. If we truly care about someone, we should intervene and say, hey, look at your behavior. Look at what you are doing to yourself and to others. So how about this? Play with those ideas for yourself, your own family or associations, maybe the workplace. Sometimes these supervisors, managers need interventions on how to actually treat people. And if we come together as people, treating each other as people, I really believe that healing can be shared. So back to the idea of you, imagining you as a part of this movement. Let's find the right people and let's get this idea of it's time to do an intervention. Not like the January 6th uninvited, but we bring in some people and there's legal ways to get this done, civil ways this could be accomplished very easily. Just a matter of convincing some people in positions to sit down and listen. We can do an intervention on the American government. We can bring in the newly elected group and the currently sitting group, and we can have a real come to Jesus moment about the expectations of what the American people are wanting to see in the future. I know I'm not alone in this. I'm just alone in my adventure so far. But praise God. It feels good to be me. And I hope you can feel good being you, being alive today with who you are and where you are and everything you've got going for you. Times in life, right? Each of us, we're on our own spiritual path, developing the individual character of who we become. Who we become is greatly determined, we're greatly influenced by each other. not everyone had good role models, good examples around them when they were kids. I think a lot of kids had others around them telling them what to do. And that's why we got a bunch of adults these days, good-hearted, good-natured, but they don't really accomplish as much as they tell themselves, and they just tell everyone what to do. Well, here, brothers and sisters, I I try to follow. Actually, this could come out completely wrong, I'm sure. It feels good not to be like Jack. There's many people who can say that, sure. But are you sure? Are you sure about what you're sure of? Because I feel pretty amazing. Phillips, good afternoon to you. I saw I I've seen some of your stuff, and I've been intending to stop by, and I hadn't. Thank you for this. It's more than just the video games. That's one of the parts, but absolutely. Generation raised by video games, it's left us all in learned, helpless state. That learned helplessness, I would offer, was before the video games and such. Helplessness has been, well, it's part of the misinformation campaigns that have been spread out through the masses, right? Oppressive. I don't know where to begin anymore. Hey, this one. I don't like to brag, but I sit in front of the fireplace for the part where I'm online, but the other side of this camera is a very comfy couch. I got a big screen TV, and I got internet and Google Music, and I live in heaven. God allowed me to discover that the life I had been given, it was not the hell I thought it was. I've actually been quite blessed in my life, and I bet you have too. I bet we have all been blessed more than we realize. But this is why I think my life is what it is. Okay. And so I am. I'm grateful. My path at this time, my purpose is what it is. Now, tell you what, if you have better ideas or suggestions that would be more helpful than what I'm doing, please, I'm open to ideas. But my goal is to share what I've been learning about the corruption of our governments and the war industry, right? To help people realize it's not a joke. I mean, this is life. And I actually think we could take it pretty seriously. But I don't want to be a fear channel either, because I'm not about the fear. If you notice, I'm all about live without fear, right? Don't be ignorant and ignore, but don't let fear and anger and negativity consume you. Why? Because I've learned what is true. You are a soul having a temporary experience through time. The body is just the mechanism that we get to experience this. And there's an unfolding of time. The future of our individual lives, it's greatly determined by the directions we choose for ourselves. Where do we spend our time? What do we commit our energy and our life force towards? I, see, this is why I don't look at the chat, because you guys amuse me and I get so easily distracted. I love how Jack talks to everyone like he's Mr. Rogers talking to children. I am. I'm not Mr. Rogers, I'm Jack Talcott. But what I'm trying to communicate with is God's children. I honor God's children. You are one of God's children. All of us are children of God, children of the Most High. Now, many people have become very confused. They've lost sight of their role, or they chose different characters to play. I played a lot of different characters in my past. What the lessons I've learned through my life, though, I never was a very good actor. I was never very good at lying. So it actually works to my benefit. I I learned how to be more humble, more kind, more gentle, because I said this in a comment earlier. Um, oh, here, you know what? I like promoting. I said this in this guy's video here. Um, the elect of God. He's a wonderful young man, very inspiring, and I feel he's in tune with the Holy Spirit and within him. He offered this, I think it was, yeah, today, the topic, you've got a sharp tongue. And this is me, man. Here, what I say? Let's see. Whoops. Once again, messages were confirmation of my past and my own lessons. Here, the key for those gifted with a sharp tongue, which, you know, the tongue, all of us have this capacity to be real sharp in our tongue, brutal and cruel with our words. The key is to deliver the cold facts with gentleness and compassion. Because truly, my frustration, my anger, they've been my own downfalls. That's what my story shows, and that's what my story tells. I don't deny what is true. I celebrate the truth that I can know. And the truth that I can know is that I am. I am here and now, as are you. So the idea of meditation, contemplation, the idea of surrender to the Holy Spirit, it really is to be calm in your beingness, to realize that the body, the adventure you're on, it is all temporary. It's all temporary in nature. And each of us has the capacity within ourselves. We control the story we tell ourselves based off of the facts we've been given. But if you're insecure, you'll focus on small facts, narrow facts, make big deals of irrelevant facts. That's kind of what I've been facing with some of these jokers and clowns on here. Manipulations of facts and people who don't really understand. I'm debating, sincerely. If anyone wants to join, you are welcome to join. I'm just truly amazed at what has unfolded in this life. So, brothers and sisters, those who are here, whether you're with the live or with the later, but you're one of the regular ones who's been paying attention. There's something happening in this world. My goal is what it is. I know for a fact that wars can end. Wars can end. Secrets can be overcome. The lies can be sorted out. That applies to individuals. right? If you got a misunderstanding with someone and you're just unable to find resolve, you can. You can. You can stop fighting. You can stop finding enemies. You can find reasons to forgive. You want to forgive. You do want to forgive. You want to be the one who's, all right, they were completely in the wrong and I did nothing and I didn't deserve it, but I'm going to feel better because I forgave. You will. I can't think of one example where I found forgiveness of someone who betrayed me. I can't find one example where I found forgiveness and then regretted it. That might actually kind of go into that question that was asked earlier, though, about testing people we love to see if they're loyal. Personally, I don't believe in that. If you question my loyalty, ask me. But if you want to test me for your approval, maybe I don't want to be loyal to you, right? Because this is where mankind has been divided. We're divided by our opinions, right? The false security, the false superiority. We live in a world where secrets and lies have driven mankind insane. What sets us all free from our deception, our confusion? Number one, the willingness from within. Are you willing to learn that you've been deceived? Are you willing to learn that you're confused about some of the things you're saying? Might be perfect timing. Welcome,
Greetings, Jack.
Are you willing to learn?
How you doing?
Feeling blessed.
That's a great question. That's a great question. And actually, I am willing to learn. Honestly, if you know, from my perspective in life, I've found to perceive that when you've stopped learning, you've actually stopped living. Right? So, I guess the day you stop learning, you actually die.
Not necessarily. You know what else prevents learning?
No.
There's
Please enlighten
sorry,
me.
that was a big question. There's many things that stop learning, but when people form a judgment, when people think they know, they stop learning. That's what's happened with me. Not that's obviously in my past, that's what held me back, but I've been on a path of paying attention and learning every moment of every day that I'm awake. So, what I was talking about is many people, and you have been included in this OTW, in the past, opinions were formed about me, and then there was no more learning. It was just finding confirmation bias, anything that would support that first false conclusion, that was now evidence. But everything else, that was ignored. Does that make sense?
I guess it kind of does. And I would like to argue with you about that, but you know what? I don't really feel like arguing. It's like I'm not, I'm not with. I gotta actually honestly tell you, earlier I got like that kind of lovey-dovey thing going there. You cast some kind of spell on me, and even the chat was telling me, like my chat was going, OTW, he put a gay spell on you or something. You're fucking, something's happening to you, right? I go, we know, but wait a minute. I was like, fuck you. Something happened, man. Something happened. I said, okay, I gotta go over there. I gotta go over there. Let's go talk to Jack. Let's go see Jack. And now I'm here because I figured, we needed this interaction. Maybe not. I might be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that's like it's overdue. Maybe we need to have an actual conversation and get down to business, and get down to truth, get down to essentially what the fuck we're actually doing out here.
OTW, I appreciate it. It sounds like you got some chill vibes. You got some music playing in the back.
Yeah, I got this.
Cool.
Yes, I do have the frequency thingy going on. Yes, I do. I have that.
Good for you.
Yes.
You know what?
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the frequency. It's the positive. 528, or I don't even know what the hell it is, but it's the positive shit. Yeah. Maybe that's what's it. Yeah.
It's a number of variables. What you said, I appreciated, OTW. I do think it could be helpful, because I think you're a good guy. You and we haven't got to know each other very well, or at least I haven't got to know you very well.
Yeah.
Not that you're hiding yourself.
We could say that we do not know each other at all. And I could say that what I've seen from you as a alleged broadcaster, I've made all kinds of opinions about you, man, for sure. Especially because I think it was Chuck that said it the best one time. He says, "Everything I know about you, Jack, came out of your mouth." And then you told him, "Well, that's your delusion, Chuck." But I was like, what? How can you say that? It's like that confused me when you said that. But besides that, I think you're not that bad of a person, but sometimes I think you lack maybe a little bit of logic that eludes you. Like logically there's something wrong there. It's like, oh, he missed it. He just like it passed right by him. He did not see that one. And you went straight to, "Hey, that's your delusion." Yeah, go ahead.
I'm happy to explain it because it actually ties into what I was saying earlier about judgment and what I've been experiencing. Online has given me a real life, visible, a safe distance, but a visible experience of human behavior, right? So if you go, what I have seen.
If you Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead. I think we have a lag. We're experiencing a lag here.
There may have been. What I've seen, it's what I said. People found an opinion of me. I've said this before as well, that somehow my path, people's egos get triggered with me. Apparently, I represent things from the past for a lot of different people. So, and I've got theories on each of the individuals, like with Chuck. But he formed an opinion of me that I was wrong. Now, he surrounded himself with other people, and he had a lot of conversation with other people about how I was wrong. But since he made that decision, he's looked for confirmation bias. He's not actually understood what he's rejected, which is what I'd offer with you and many others. People don't understand me, but they want to mock me and disrespect me. I mean, here's another
So
one.
You're saying that the information over time that has been accumulated and documented on, let's say, on you throughout like the past few years is biasedly translated. This is what you're saying.
It's yes, because seeking in on confirmation bias. Well, Jack, you said this, and so it makes you look bad. So this is the totality of who you are. No, if you actually look at the other things I do and say, each day when I'm on here, I'm regularly talking about ways that people can practice meditation, expand their own experience of inner peace. I've offered a ton of real life beneficial explanations. So the excuses that people have found, right? You find Jack said that, and so he's a clown, and so that gives me the right to make fun of him. No. You selective memories and yeah, selective memories create this cognitive blindness.
I accept that. I accept that. You know, and you know what I would rather have, like, I know most of the time the conversations stem around like your psyche and whatnot. And I was wondering, like, can the conversation stem around more or less what the initial goal or outcome of all of this is going to be? Or can there be an actual real damn it, man, I'm losing it, man. You see, I had a long day. I got excuses. I got a bunch of excuses.
We're gonna get Donald Trump. We're gonna get Donald Trump. We're gonna sit him down, and we're gonna be like, "Yo, wars are bad, and the people demand change and reforms."
What are you doing?
I'm helping.
Are you drunk, banana?
No, I was trying to help.
Well,
you're not helping.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just listen. My bad. I thought I was helping. I thought I knew what you were gonna say, Jack, and you know.
Yeah.
See, you haven't been here long enough to actually know how. I think you really don't know, Jack.
Right.
So we're not gonna sit Trump down and talk about reforms.
Would you just, the way your tone, your presentation, it's not as helpful as you claim. Welcome, Margot. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Jack. I'm well. Hi, OTW.
Greetings, Margot.
Hi, Han Banana.
Hey.
Hey, OTW. I'm not sure
Yep.
where you were going, but I think you were asking, where does this go?
Yeah, from here on out. Yeah, it's a simple question. It's just me, like, I was, trying to push it too far, but it was actually more simple than.
Well, I kind of said it earlier. I've been saying this a long time in different ways. I believe that we is whoever is with me and joins my efforts, which there will be, whether it's you or not, eventually I will find the place where I'm understood. And
well, essentially, there are people watching you right now, following you right now. I mean, I think you're already there.
We're getting closer. But what I see happening, OTW, is that we become part of this movement. We bring a lot of other pieces of movements together, bringing a lot of people together. We get the right ideas, the right people together. I see a wonderful opportunity if we create an intervention in the United States government and we have a come to Jesus conversation with them about what is and is not happening. The fact is, our freedoms have been sold out to the banks. And we've got neighbors competing against neighbors. We've got nations warring against nations. Working class are being hired to oppress and manipulate the working class. And I think we should put an end to it.
Okay, so what if I was to join you, Jack? What would you have me do?
I love that question. And honestly, it's up to every individual. And I think this is the path that I'm on. Every one of us, if we have a good idea, we should pursue it. I mean, after all, the goal is end wars and immediate reforms can begin. The way I envision it myself is if you know anyone with greater platforms that wants to share these ideas, sharing the ideas is one part. The other part is we do introductions. Someone knows someone, and this is where my idea came from. I know people, both here in Spokane, I know people all around in Washington, D.C. as well, who have connections to many of the men and women in Congress. And I think if we look at the facts, right, we go to the facts that show the debts and the wars and the military industrial complex, it's time for change. So how do we get it to happen?
You're right. The mouth to ear is very powerful still. It's not something that's we could discount. Old fashioned is still good. And you ever think of flyers? Or even better, because I was thinking of it for myself at one point. Like one of my friends at one point had mentioned to me, you should take your truck, put bring a couple of instruments, something, a speaker to get, people hear you sing and play guitar and stuff, and promote the channel that way in a particular area. So what do you think about like a booth with flyers and having a slogan, and then have, like end wars, like, and then under that, right, change my mind, like a kind of like a catchy phrase to get people to engage with you and have that conversation. If it was to be on the ground, let's say, I'm like, if these you just asked for ideas, so I'm throwing some as on the ground work. What do you think of that?
I don't think that's big enough, to be honest.
That's what she said. Boom.
Well, there was a few things. This did distract me a little bit. The United Healthcare CEO. Interesting times. There are interesting things happening in this world every day. I feel for the loss of anyone, right? I assume he has family and such, and so his family's dealing with that loss. But we have a criminal system here. OTW, my path is what it is. My failures are real, right? I failed to communicate properly.
But can you imagine flyers, dude? Think about it. Change the world, end wars today, live without fear, and join the cause, and then give out handouts, man. It's like that stuff. That's like marketing, bro. That's like then that's where the mouth to ear power gets generated.
All right.
I bet this guy knows
and the slogan too.
Company.
I was trying to offer my ideas, but sure, yeah.
No, but please. I was listening. Sorry if I interrupted. Like I say, I think there's a lag. So when, let's say you pause for speaking for a moment there, Jack, I tend to like want to jump in. So forgive me if I'm over speaking you. It's technical.
I appreciate that heads up. Thank you. Regarding the flyers, OTW, I spent a career as an employee with the United States Postal Service. The last job that I had, yes, it dealt with commercial mailings. I know all about advertising in print and mass distribution, and holy cows, that was actually one of my ideas a long time ago. If I got my APWU, if the American Postal Workers Union, had they understood me, we still can. This is still one of the ideas that's available for us to pursue through the connections I know.
There you go. Now we're talking. See? We're getting somewhere.
APWU, the other postal unions, there's roughly, I don't know, it's dwindled. So there's roughly 300,000 or better employees right there. Not to mention the small cost it would take to really communicate this, but the message would be, it's time for wars to end, wars and secrets to end. I mean, because should the state parties, Israel, Russia, Ukraine, the US, all of these parties come together and we just say, hey, we're going to pause. We're looking at the destruction, we're looking at the cost, we're looking at things that are really happening, and we're going to make some changes. the agreement to reform, as long as we start opening it up, transparency, we can have full disclosure from the governments, the corporations. The world can start learning what is really going on. The idea I had a long time ago, honestly, OTW, my background was in labor, okay? I know the power of organizing men and women. I know the challenges the working class is really facing. So when I lost my job at the post office, I was no longer connected to labor. I found Veterans for Peace. Okay, so put those two together in addition to my studies of spirituality. If I can get OTW, hypothetically, if you were joining with me, what I would ask of you is to follow up on some of my own requests to invite people to give me some time and attention. From the churches here in my hometown, many other people may have this same setup, but from the churches in my hometown, they have a network all around the world. So we have connections through organizations besides the government that we can utilize to share the ideas. And the idea is it's time for the truth to reign supreme instead of wealth and authority. I think that's God's plans, to be honest, man. I really do. Oh my God. Welcome. It's always
howdy.
It's always a new day.
That it is. Did you see all the great ideas I was giving you?
You call those
I like those. I do. Think about it. It's old school. You're getting back to the old school, so
Hey,
do
Nubs.
it in an old school manner with
Okay,
balloons and
Hey,
like dirigibles.
Okay, great. I don't like the idea. I explained
Can I ask why?
I said, well, here. Well, I already explained the other alternatives, Nubs, and you're another one. You found opinions of me a long time ago, and you really haven't.
Jack, today's a new day, man. I'm here to support.
Well, please break your habit of interrupting me. Okay? You actually haven't quite understood me. You haven't understood me. And so you and others have found a lot of fun mocking me and disrespecting me.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Well, so you say. Now, back to what you brought, right? You wanted to expand on the idea that OTW offered a face-to-face, leaflet and a booth, and you go to a carnival and you be a presenter, and yep, that's a path, certainly. Now, my time...
But it's not something that hold on a second, Jack. I would like just to say real quick, it's not something that I would say that you'd have to do daily or weekly, but one event or two in a summer could be very productive. You know what I'm saying?
Out the
Where you have that
supports Jack.
That's what I was getting at.
Excuse me?
That would require a large budget, and what Jack does online
and
is
organization
very inexpensive. And
well, Jack can organize it. He's done that. And as far as a budget, if we're behind Jack, then we can donate our time.
Because Jack's been looking for the help. So are you going to be his team? Are you going to be his manager?
I've already offered my
help. Hold on a second. First of all, if we're talking flyers, they're very simple to make. Eye-catching and something. Any of us can create one with, like even Jack can make one, and I know I can make one in 15 minutes.
Jack has said he doesn't
the flyer is not even an issue.
You said he doesn't want to do
Well,
the flyers,
you're
though.
talking what, $33?
That's not true. He didn't say he didn't want to do it. He said it was actually an idea that he had already thought of way back, and he said also that it would still be a possibility. So don't say that he didn't want to do that, unless if I'm wrong.
Jack, I mean, all right, let's all let Jack talk. He's getting pissed.
I'm just saying this is all hypothetical. It's not gonna happen.
Snafu, you bet on your hypotheticals. You bet on your thoughts, and you've been betting wrong.
Are you going to make this happen? Okay,
well,
so are you going to really take this on, this project?
You know what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overlook that. DeFreak, thank you very much. OTW, what do you think? Apparently, he and DeFreak and Shively reconciled. So,
well, what I think is stop giving Jack money for me to unblock you. Give me money for me to unblock you, dumbass.
if you're blocked,
I'm sorry, I just had to say that. You know, I am broadcasting from my side. I had to be funny a little.
You did rip your audience off the other day. Those $60.
I was just joking, by the way. I don't need Freak's money.
I know. Hey, I actually. OTW.
No, Jack, I'm not trying to be mean. I was just asking a serious question. Are you really taking a project on?
Oh, good God.
He's said it 1,000,000 times. He wants to take it on.
Cool.
I believe, honestly, that this is God's will for us. This was part of my thought process earlier again today. I got to accept the results as they are. I mean, I mentioned I got my hopes up again. I had a face-to-face interaction with some of the people from Veterans for Peace again. Had a face-to-face.
Mute yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a face-to-face with the pastor. I mean, I'm still trying to find out what's going on with my mother, my father, my son. I don't understand what's going on in my life.
What's going on with your son?
So you say. So you say.
Do you talk to your mother and father?
I try.
But like,
are you gonna hang out with them for Christmas?
Like, did they respond to your
invite
messages,
them to Christmas
or is it just like they just don't agree with your topics that you or your views or something?
Why is that relevant?
I'm trying to understand his.
Yeah, why is that relevant?
I'm trying to understand Jack. You guys, I thought that's what we're doing.
No, hey, Banana. You know what I see? I don't see you trying to understand. Fuck all. All I see is you trying to pry into his life.
Oh well, I'm sorry. I won't
exactly.
I won't ask any questions.
Relevant.
Jack. My bad.
There's reasons to pry.
I mean, it's like it's none of anybody's business how he communicates with his own family, and asking him those questions, I believe, are some kind of it's fucking disrespectful.
OTW.
No, I mean everybody already knows your fucking story, Jack. Why do we always have to go back to the storyline?
Please.
All right, I'll let go.
Please, thank you. OTW, thank you for speaking up with what you did. But I actually do. I think Banana, I'm leaning towards he was honest about trying to understand. And there is something bizarre going on in my life. I'm trying to figure out what it is. What has happened? I've been ghosted by everybody. I don't know why my texts are ignored. I don't know why exactly I'm so avoided. Now I get lots of accusations and lots of second, third, fourth hand opinions. And I get from the people at church, good-hearted people. Well, they pray for me. They offer
Can I share something?
Yeah.
Have you had a spiritual awakening, Jack? And this is a serious question because it'll affect my answer. Yes, you have. Okay. I've had one as well. I was 40 when it happened. Okay. I call it a spiritual awakening. It could be something else. I don't know. I'll just say that's what it was for sake of conversation. And in this spiritual awakening, what was revealed to me is that everything that happened to me was I was the architect of. So, as a spiritually awakening being, when you say you don't know why, it's you do know why. You might not want to accept why, but that's the truth. You know, you are the architect of everything that's ever happened to you, and that's the same for myself.
OTW,
completely.
like,
And I so
ask,
every time that, all right, go ahead, I'll yield.
I just want to ask you a question about it. Like, do you think, like, how do you teach an autistic person that? Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, there's Tommy.
How the hell am I supposed to know? Do I look like an autism teacher?
Oh, my bad. Damn it! Why is everybody yell when I ask them questions? I was just thinking about Tommy and Paul on Slave.
I'm just
thinking about our.
I'm just kind of like, I have that voice, you know, and I think I have a good mic. I try to stay far away from it.
As a special education teacher, I can answer that for him, and we can just put it to bed.
There you go.
Autism is a spectrum. There are going to be some people on that spectrum that understand what a spiritual awakening is, and they'll try to achieve it or look for it. There's others that just don't care, or it's just something without, you know, we call it neurodivergent now, not so much autistic. People that are neurodivergent think differently, so they're not going to care if they have a spiritual awakening or not. Some will, some won't. There you go. I yield.
I think some of them do, but the ones that do,
I
know. I was gonna add to my. I was gonna say more than 2 words, lady.
Please don't call me lady. My name is Margot.
I'm just gonna stop talking to you.
You're just being freaking demolished out here, Banana, today. I don't know what's going on, man.
I guess, damn. Well, I guess what I was gonna say was
keep your pants on, sit down, have another banana.
Get talked over. I'm just gonna be quiet. This is what it feels like to be Jack, damn it. I'm getting pissed.
Banana, I was just answering your
That's
question.
A good one.
You asked a question, and I happen to know the answer because it is my area of expertise. So.
I wanted to add to it and ask maybe a question, but then, you know, you got all sassy.
That's up to Jack.
Lady, you got all sassy with me.
I did get all sassy. I don't appreciate that. But if Jack wants you to ask a question, I'm free to answer it if Jack is.
Yeah, we're way over that.
I'm curious now as well. What were you? Do you remember what you wanted to follow up with?
I was gonna say that, like, it seems like autistic people can get like really focused on certain things, like one particular thing, and if that one thing is like a spiritual awakening or religion, and like that's what I was thinking is like they have trouble communicating, and I would think like some kind of learning issues. So, you know, like how can you communicate that to them about, you know, what Jack's trying to preach or what he was talking about, the spiritual awakening and seeing life in a different light, I guess. Seeing the light or whatever, you know. I don't know.
They communicate differently, therefore their arena of people to communicate with might be smaller than.
So they're just literally saying that we're both autistic, Jack. That's it. We're both different levels of autism, and we're autistic, Jack. I'm down with that. I can accept it. I'm okay.
I don't think they're autistic.
Back to what you were saying, though. I mean, autism. There's all these. What Margot said. People are different, right? Every one of us, while there's similarities in the structure and the design, the process of how things work, there's similarities. Every one of us is unique. What you were saying, though, in the spiritual awakening, you learned the truth of responsibility, that I'm responsible for everything in my life. And I realized that. And it still didn't change. What do I do? Because honestly, I have been working on myself, growing and trying to overcome my patterns of arguing and getting angry, becoming a better communicator. I don't know what God wants me to do. I mean, I pray daily, constantly. What do I do now? And what I do
fucking
is,
figured it out, Jack. I know. Just by listening to what you just said, you are here. You are here in this venue for training, my brother. That's
all
why
of us
you're
are.
here.
I know.
No, but
All of us.
I think you specifically, because what you're searching for, you're actually learning it here while you're on this fucking journey of yours that you're doing on YouTube.
I know.
Because you have so many interactions with so many different YouTubers with so many different levels of intellect and emotional states that you will automatically learn without even you knowing how to be able to respond at every single situation at every given moment. And that is not experience that you can fucking buy, my friend.
OTW, yeah, I realize that. This path online has been development for me. See, unlike the narratives about me, I'm actually studying. I'm continuing to grow. I am continuing to improve. And online has helped me improve and become a better communicator. So put that in the context of my goals. When I say I don't understand, really it is, why are people unwilling to change their minds about me? I mean, Margot has
That's
been...
not true. Not everybody are like that, though.
Well, the ones who
Because
matter
we
in my
all
life...
have, I can attest. Sorry about the lag, man. I was going to say, I can attest for a fact that I've noticed that you do not focus as much on the triggers that you used to have now, and that you're much more in control of them than you ever were in the past. I can give you that, man. So please, go ahead.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that, because this is what I'm hoping for. I believe people like Margot, if she's honest, number one, she never should have had all of the bitterness and hate towards me that she shared, but she did.
I don't hate, and I'm not bitter.
Okay.
I think you're in denial, Margot.
Yeah. And this is what I was saying is I'm hoping for the people of my past. My son has not had a conversation with me since 2018. I never physically harmed him, never threatened him. I didn't do anything, not to deserve this abandonment. So, OTW, I feel like God has been testing me. I'm filled with hope. I'm filled with faith. I'm filled with light. I'm filled with love. Why people still find me as unworthy? I don't know.
Dude, can I share a small anecdote with you? Not very long,
Please.
but it was post my awakening, all right? I thought I was out there to save the world, man. Get it? I wanted to tell everybody the fucking truth about God and everything. And then I was tested. I was put to the test. I meet an old friend that I went to high school with, right? And he was a Bible thumper, like Jesus and everything like that. But little did I know that he had went through like the drug direction where he would do a lot of drugs, speed, cocaine, you name it, he did it. But it fucked up his brain and made him psychotic. But I didn't know that. He seemed pretty normal. I had met him at a Christmas party, and I gave him my number. And he calls me up. He says, "Hey, I'm interested in hearing about the stuff that you were talking about, the spirituals, So I figured, great, this is a perfect opportunity to go ahead and share everything I've learned so far and all the accumulated knowledge. And I finally get a chance to fucking put it to the test. Dude, when I got there and I saw the level of how the person I got fucking scared, dude. I was literally afraid that he was going to end up fucking stabbing me or, slitting my throat. He was losing his mind in the apartment building where I was at with him. And I was telling him, hey, dude, calm down. So I eventually convinced him to, let's go get a coffee. And I kind of got in my car and I fled because I said, okay, wait a minute. If that was the first test, I totally failed. I totally failed the first test. I had to come back and review everything, man. Because then I realized that God was gonna, you think that you're ready for this? It's like, that was the message from God. It's like, no, you're not ready for this. Hold on, I'm gonna put somebody on this journey of yours, and I'll show you that you're not ready. Okay, so I do believe that, everything that's happening to you, Jack, right now, and in the past was meant to be. Is part of that learning process. It's part of your forging. You're going through the fire, my brother. This is what's happening to you, man. This is the fire, and you're actually doing it to yourself. But that's a good thing, because if you're gonna come out of that like the fucking phoenix rising from the ashes. You're gonna be purified, and you will actually probably embody everything you say at a certain point, man.
Thank you, OTW. Sincerely, because that's what I feel is happening. And here, so consider this: we're all in this together. We're all going through our own path of character development. We're all going through our refinement and our challenging stages, but this is way I believe this is the way God could work. Take someone like me. I committed myself to these goals, years ago. Apparently I wasn't good enough. I wasn't ready. I'm still hopeful that I'm on the right path, because if this is real, then it is true. We are here to bring forth the new world through our new ways of being, and the new ways of being separated from the craziness of economics and politics and religions, becoming free.
I can say that makes a lot of sense, both what OTW said and what Jack said. Is that when you speak knowledge to somebody that doesn't have it, it's you're giving them the step ladder to move to the next level. But taking steps is hard.
Can I add a caveat to that?
No, Margo.
They want to reject it, and they go on their own way. But they did hear what you said and move on. So, like what OTW said about.
All right, now you can talk, lady.
Go ahead.
Your connection was kind of dropping out there. Margo, you wanted to add something to what he was saying, though.
Yes. I believe, as an educator and as a student, that the miracle happens when you're able to take someone from confusion to non-confusion by answering their questions clearly. Because you can share your knowledge, which is great. And if someone's listening and they have questions, and then you can clarify those questions, then you have moved them to that next rung on the ladder. So I think someone that can answer questions well will go farther than someone that can attempt to teach someone. But if they're not able to answer clarifying questions, then the person's not going to be as able to learn and or continue to follow the path that you would like them on.
If I may on that one,
yes.
You're talking about asking the right question or answering the right questions. Wouldn't it be the one that is asking the questions that needs the right questions? And if the questions are from inside, isn't that where the answer is then found as well? Is inside of themselves?
Both. Number one, you need to meet people where they are and know what their capacity of learning is, right? I can't take a baby and teach them algebra.
Did you ever recommend religion?
That depends on what you classify as a baby, because there's definitely examples of very young children in the quote unquote baby range that are definitely there when it comes to learning, because the brain is very, very movable. It's placid.
Not
There's
algebra is abstract, and a 6-month-old baby does not have the ability to learn at that level.
maybe not a 6-month-old baby, but I would definitely say that there is
I'm talking about a 6-month-old baby.
As far as the norm, no, but I definitely would say there are babies that are well advanced at 6 months in comparison to the average.
My baby,
okay, let me
my
go back
baby
to my
did algebra
caveat.
when she was 6 months.
Let me get back to my caveat. When you are conversing with someone and they are asking you quality questions, if you have the ability to answer them well and appease the questioner, then you have succeeded in at least getting some level of trust with that person.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Welcome back.
Oh,
You can
okay.
have the best professor in the world, but if he can't answer a question, he's not going to teach. You can have the best attorney
Margot,
in the
yes,
world,
your
but
point has been made. Margot, thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
And I think I'll pull it from my personal life. I grew up in a broken home. My parents divorced when I was 3 years old. My older brother and sisters, they only went to my father with their hands out. When I went to my father, I went with those questions. I just wanted to know about how things went down. I grew up with my mom putting things in my ears, but I didn't have my father there to be able to put things in my ears. So I came with a bunch of questions. But rather than coming with my hands out like, hey, give me what you didn't give me when you weren't there, I just wanted to answer the question about, hey, this is y'all's relationship. It's not my relationship. I have a relationship with my father. But I wanted to know about their relationship because I had only been given one side of it. So when I asked those questions, he answered those questions. That was all I wanted, was just the questions to be answered. So now I feel like I have the tools to be better than that which happened before me.
And you feel better.
Oh, yeah, I think we both feel better. And I still have a positive relationship with my father.
Yes.
If my siblings refused to talk to him, because every time they came with their hands out, they left with empty pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Margot, I'm making assumptions that you brought up the skill of being able to answer questions because you've alleged in the past that I've been unable to answer questions, as have many others who want to blame me for their confusion. But what who was it?
May I address that?
Might have been Nubs who said the answers do come from within. And
may I answer that?
He wants to ask you a question, Margot. Just let him ask you the question first. Jeez.
Well,
please,
Margot, defend yourself.
You have said that people are confused or don't understand you.
Mm-hmm. Correct. You are one of those.
What don't I understand about you?
That's I don't know. But I know that your behavior towards me has been completely illogical, unhealthy, unproductive. And you and others have blamed me for what you think. You've used what you think, just like I saw Polyboy down in the chat. Yeah, Polyboy uses what he thinks as an excuse to be rude.
I'm not being rude, I don't think.
You've never done that with me?
Have I been rude to you in the past? We both have been rude to one another.
But I was asking about you. I know you always want to blame me and find problems with me.
I'm not blaming you. I'm owning my part. I'm owning my part.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. So your rudeness towards me over the past 6+ years, that's been my fault.
No, I'm owning my part. It takes two to tango.
So, but when I brought it up, your only response was you were rude too, Jack. So it sounds like your rudeness was what? Revenge? Competition?
No.
What was the reason?
There isn't just one. Give me an example and I'll try to explain why I was rude given the circumstances.
The music stopped and it got weird filling in there. That panel.
Holy cows, it doesn't matter. Margot, you've presented yourself in many circles I've seen online as though you've got some sort of expertise on me, and you've enabled the insults from others.
I don't have expertise on anyone.
I know, Margot. I know you're innocent of all things.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. But can you be specific about anything you did do wrong? I mean, I've admitted everything I've done wrong, and all you do is call me a liar.
What did I do wrong?
Actually, it doesn't matter. Margot, you're living your life. You get, whoops, technical issues now. We're all living our life. Yep. You've been a part of what brought me to today. So you've played a part in my past. You're here with me in the present. Fascinating. I'll try this. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, Margot. Like, if you don't like Jack, why are you still here?
I didn't say I didn't like Jack.
Oh, so you do like
what?
Jack.
Are you?
So you do like Jack?
I like all human beings. God made us all.
Well, are you in like with Jack, or do you just like Jack? And what do you like about Jack specifically?
If I had to identify my relationship with Jack, I would say that I see myself as an older sister type.
No, you're a vicious
older sister, Margot.
Okay. Right. She doesn't know me, and she claims to have a relationship with me as a sister. You're fucking crazy, Margot.
Why are you showing hate, Jack?
By my honesty? I mean, Margot,
you talk about forgiveness.
I know.
Talk about forgiveness. You talk about living in the now.
I know, Margot.
You show such disdain and jealousy of me. I just don't understand.
Jealousy? Oh, is that the narrative?
Well, you want to know my connections to Congress. You want to. I think you're angry because I did give you my connections and they weren't interested.
Margot, you got triggered because I was insultingly honest with you, and what you've shown me has been quite offensive. So please forgive me for offering
he's gonna boot me now. He can't handle it. He can't answer my question.
Margot, why did you interrupt me?
Because I felt like I wanted to say something, And you interrupted me before I interrupted you.
How old are you?
Older than you. Like I said, I feel like your bigger sister.
Yeah.
Jack, you like Margot, right?
No, I find I can respect her. I've seen her be kind with other people, but she has been vindictive, falsely accusing me, spreading rumors. She's been making. Holy shit. Does anyone else remember Margot? Anything Margot said?
But the truth is, if you do want to make up with Margot and find some peace, you guys got to have this back and forth until you guys find resolution. That's the way to heal this. Personally,
and
just
Jack,
my own thoughts. Though I'm not a psychiatrist, not therapist. I'm just thinking.
Banana. I want to confirm what you're saying. Yes. Now, here in the present moment, peace is available. Now, Margot, she's in her own fantasy world. So she's here and now.
What we're seeing is Jack's true character right now. Now you're seeing Jack's true character.
What is showing, Margot? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing bitterness. I'm seeing unforgivingness. I'm not seeing love. I am seeing a lot of fear. I'm seeing all the things that you claim you don't possess.
Margot, do you want Jack? That's you, Margot.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Good. That's you, Margot. You gotta give it to her. Come on.
Yes, Sam Banana.
Do you want Jack to love you?
That I can't make Jack do anything.
I didn't say what I said. Do you want him to? And I mean, like, not.
I want him to be a happy man,
not in a romantic sense, just as a human. Like, do you?
That's between him and God.
Wait. Why don't you ask the real question?
Well, she answered it without me even asking it.
I appreciate that question. So, Margot,
yes,
what have you offered to me that I should appreciate? If you're such a fucking wonderful big sister, what should I appreciate from your relationship with me?
It's difficult to hear you say that when you have the word love behind you. So if you're going to call me a fucking whatever, can you please like cover up the word love?
Hey, Margot, good deflection. Yes. Good deflection.
Okay, I'll answer the question. What was the question? Yeah. What have I offered you?
Yeah.
I have.
Why am I grateful for Margot being in my life?
I don't know if you're grateful or not.
What lead me to gratitude, please, because it goes with the question Hand Banana asked. You know, do you want Jack to have any appreciation, any respect for you whatsoever, or you just really don't give a shit about what you've done to Jack or what Jack does?
Well, back to what OTW said, you've orchestrated your life, Jack.
Margot, I was asking you to help me. What could we point to that I could be grateful for Margot Davey in my life?
I can't make you be grateful for anything, Jack.
What might?
Jack, I would. Is my mic on?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through.
Hello? Okay.
Yep.
I want to answer that, right? Because from the perspective and the conversation we're having initially, if I want to bring it full circle, I would tend to believe Margot is part of that purification, that fire, that,
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you understand. So that's why you shouldn't be so angry, because God is working, man. You always have to see how God's working things, man. So sometimes you see narrow it down when you should be opening up those things that those things they put on horses.
OTW, I love you. Yes, you're right. Now here's the part though, okay? You You banana nubs are here in my life as I'm trying to find peace and resolve with this woman she's one of many. Margot, you have the opportunity to be one of the many, but to be the first to change your mind about me. Because OTW, the message that I'm trying to share is we, right? Jesus was the one. He led the way. I'm following his way. I'm inviting others to join me in helping resolve delusions and disagreements that have been thrown at me. It doesn't
What
have
would
to be
you like me
Margot.
my mind about?
Now, if I would take that from a spiritual perspective, what you're saying is I should join myself and we shall all join our other selves as one and conduct ourselves as one. But that would be a perfect way to see things. But if you're looking at it from the other side of it, you know, not spiritually, but how can I say psychology, you know, like psychologically, it's just not happening, man.
Well, what do you want me to change my mind about, Jack? What don't I know that you would like me to know differently?
Nothing. I tell you what, I'm ready to wrap up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Margaret.
Alrighty. Thank you, Jack. Have a good day.
Blessings to you. Appreciate it. I don't mean to just throw
Was that my fault?
No, it is not. But what it is I see your intentions and I truly appreciate you, OTW. Today I am very grateful for what you brought. Okay. It was an opportunity. I feel like we had real conversations and dialogue.
That was my intention.
I know for the fact I can control no others. And I learned the signs. Margot's not, she has no honest willingness to change her mind. The ego, I see the patterns of ego. The ego wants to be proven and it wants to prove. It doesn't give a shit about what's true. It just wants to be right. Well, I've learned I don't give a shit about being right or wrong as much. I mean, I do. Everyone is free to believe what they want. I know that love is true. I know that my love is true. I know that my life and the life of my son will improve. I know that if anyone from my past would give me another chance, I could prove to them that, hey, remember the guy you loved? I'm still here. I'm still alive. But see, I don't have people from my past to stand up for me and my character the way I've lived my life. I'm alone. It's only me. So I've met a lot of people who want to prove me wrong. It's been publicly, but you know what? It goes back to what you said, OTW. I am devoted to God. I live but for the grace of God. I live to serve God. I know God as love, as the truth. And so the truth leads me through my day. Each day I've got to surrender to the facts. Okay, Jack, it's still you. You still don't have, you're still rejected in Spokane. You're still not invited. You're still not welcome anywhere. So what do? Praise God, man. Praise God. I am free from the world. I live in heaven. It may not seem that way.
I actually understand where you're coming from because I see things in a certain perspective. Like there is just you and God. There isn't anything else. And that's the trap that I think people that's not the trap, but there's another trap beyond that people get trapped in, which they don't end up, and I think, yeah, this is why they say we are all one self at the highest level. This is, Paul says that, but there's so much truth in that because in essence, when, let's say and I'm just going to try to make this as quick as I can. But I've read this somewhere where this person dies, goes to heaven, meets God, and this person is scared and wonders what's going to happen to their family and this and that, and asks God all of these questions that obviously, I guess, would come to mind when you die, right? And God responds to this person and says, well, you don't have to worry about them. They'll be fine. They're you. And you're confused. You say, what do you mean they're me? You don't get it. You don't understand. He goes, then he answers you. Well, you're actually every single living human being that has ever lived and ever will live, and that is alive right now. You are everyone. There is no other. There is no other daughter, father, mother, or they're all you. It's just me and you, son. So this is the story that I get from. This is, and I actually hold that close to my heart because I say, well, when you look at it from that perspective, wouldn't you want to treat yourself better if you know that everybody else is you? Right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, I might be silly by thinking that way, but I think it would be a good way to live life.
OTW, that's exactly what I've learned. And it is what the religions are talking about too. We live to serve one another. We fill ourselves up. We become whole when we give ourselves away, when we give our time, when we give our energy, our love, our compassion. When we share with each other, it's the whole purpose of life is to develop relationships. I thought my purpose was to serve the military. Then I thought my purpose was my job. Then I thought my purpose was other organizations. My purpose, your purpose, all of our purpose. We're here to live. Live means growth. Live means change. Live means learning. And the best way to learn, the best way to live, it's with love. Loving one another, that's how we learn. Because you've experienced things that I've never had to, right? Or I've never been able to. The perspectives of different people, that's how we build our minds.
Jack, let me ask you something.
Hold on, Nubs. What's really fantastic about it is if you're loving, let's say, someone else, you're actually loving yourself, right? And by loving yourself, essentially, you're loving everyone else. So anyway,
that's ironic that you went to that because that's where I was getting at. Because my question to you was, and it's not a question that I'm looking for a fucking answer. I'm not looking to throw you under. I'm just asking a fucking question. Do you forgive yourself for the trials and the tribulations that you A, have put yourself through, and B, that you have put your family through or loved ones or that kind of scenario? Like I said, not looking for an answer. I'm not looking to throw you under the bus. Like I'm not here trolling. But I'm legit. Notice I haven't.
Okay, but I'd answer that.
Notice I haven't been rude.
First.
Go ahead, please.
Because for myself, I'd answer that for sure. No problem.
Please.
I'd say that absolutely. I've hit myself over the head so much when I was 40, and I literally, dude, I changed my life from fucking A to Z. I flipped. I flipped the script completely. I went from that piece of shit garbage that I was and turned into a human being. So yes, I'm gonna say yes.
So the evidence of you loving yourself is in the evidence that you from somebody that you did not like or would not like at this point to the person that you are today. Would that be?
Well,
because I can definitely relate to that.
No, I could tell you one thing. The initial reason why I would, let's say, not have people around me at that particular point would be the frequencies that these people would be generating. Because through this technology, you have to be in a proximity of the human being to feel the other energy, right? So the people that wouldn't have like the same frequency as me, I would just eliminate from my life. because I know what frequency I'm resonating at, and I want to attract that same frequency around me in my life. I don't want to have anything else. It's just bad for business. But business I'm using as a metaphor, obviously.
Well, keep in mind that when it's bad for business, that means that there's other business that it's good for. You know, and I'm not saying those people are necessarily. I'm saying the acceptance of that what you don't like. I mean, for instance, me up here with Jack right now, we've had a past of not liking. Nevertheless, that does not determine what is today.
I think it comes with, like, I don't see anybody out here really necessarily profiting off of each other in a sense, okay? So when you're in your personal life, people tend to want to profit off of you in any way, shape, or form that they can. And those parasites are the ones that I tend to try to eliminate in my surroundings and in my life, you know? On YouTube, it's a different dynamic because these people can't, they do not have that ability to siphon off of me physically. But they are able to siphon my attention and my energy. That is something they are able to do, which is is always the one who's the arbiter of, am I going to let them do that or not, right?
If I can give my 2 cents on that part, I've found people, like, there is an energy about people, and there's some people that I will work with, and there's some people that I won't. Like, I'll go in and, you know, they'll be talking and I'll have a conversation, be like, yeah, I'm good. You know, that trade doesn't really work. You know, that I'm not okay with you. Like, go ahead.
I was
intending
final words to wrap up. Okay.
Apologies. Much love, much love. Have a great one. It was good having an actual.
Nubs, you showed up again. Yes, you weren't as offensive and as abrasive as before, but I still feel like you absolutely mock and disrespect what I'm doing. So, Nubs, thanks for joining. Holy cows, man. OTW, sincerely, though, thank you. I feel you were honest. And this is a reality. There's differences.
I usually am.
Well, you know what? My experience with you, OTW, started off on the wrong foot. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was.
I've been an asshole. I've been part of the crew of individuals that have made fun of you and done all of that. I completely admit to every single freaking thing that we've ever, broadcast that I review you like fucking like no other broadcaster does. You know, I mean, it's like, but I don't hate you, dude. You know, I don't have necessarily any dislike for you. I'm watching your journey, brother. I think that's what fascinates me the most. I'm watching you grow. I'm watching you have your reactions, learning your lessons. I'm following your life story, like the Truman Show, I guess, you know? And sometimes I come in and I want to have these genuine conversations with you because I want to meet the real guy behind the character, the real man behind the scene, behind the camera, the guy. I want to see that guy. And I see that you put on this kind of show, and I understand what you're doing, and that's fine. I don't have any, everybody has their thing that they do, right? You know, and you have yours, I have mine, and I just am fascinated by the evolution and how you conduct yourself, and I enjoy it. I have to admit, I'm I guess one of the bush watching fans or something. I don't know how to explain it, Jack. Okay. I'm not like one of them hardcore diehard fans. I'm just like one of the ones that enjoy following your lore and your storyline. Okay, and up until now, I've given you the props that you deserve because I think you deserve sometimes some good encouragement because you do get a lot of negative, man. And sometimes like I said, you gave me that feeling earlier on, man. You made me feel guilty. And I was like, oh, man, you motherfucker. You made me feel guilty. I don't fucking believe it. So that's okay. I mean, I'm going to come over and be a good sport. You know what I'm saying? So you got me by the heart. So that was a good one, Jack. It was a good one on you, man.
I'm going to toss you out. Thank you, OTW. Appreciate you. Today was a wonderful change. I love the background. I mean, the music. This is what I'd love to do. I do hope to learn and improve some of the production, some of the broadcasting stuff. I know there's a lot of tools and tricks that could be improved in what I'm doing. There's a lot of ways I can improve the delivery of what I'm trying to offer. OTW, I appreciate it. This conversation, there's a perfect timing to all things. It's never too late, and it's always a forward progression. The right answers come at the right time. But there, you were honest. You've been a part of this group that has publicly mocked me, not really supported my efforts to grow as a man, to grow as in my goals. I mean, there's been a lot of people who've mocked my efforts to succeed. There's been more who have complained about my efforts. And there's been a lot more who don't yet know. But brothers and sisters, what I've learned in my life, what is really important to us all, it's our relationship with that which is true. And if you like it or not, you can understand it or not, you can find a way to accept it. Moment by moment, day by day, each moment, we are a soul, one spirit of consciousness that's being emanated and manifested through all of us at each time. We are the soul who has a body. Whoops, sorry, OTW, wrong button. We are the soul who has the body. And the body that we have, it's here for us to use. What's it here for us to use? Or why is it here for us to use? To explore Mother Earth, to discover all the mountains, all the rivers, all the lakes, all the bodies of life we can. Because this is life, man. It can be complicated for the confused, and it can be simple for the wise. Become wise. Allow the simple to be. Be present. Be with joy. Be with goodness. Be with gladness. And realize the version of you that you meet on the street, the version of you that you see, they're all versions of you. So love you, serve you, and be grateful with you. I'm going to wrap it up there. Brothers and sisters, thank you again sincerely. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.